Hey, how are we doing, everyone? And welcome back to the channel for another review from January. Even though I'm posting this February 1st, bear with me here because this week I saw Companion, written and directed by Drew Hancock, starring Sophie, Thatcher, Jack Quaid, Lucas Gage, Megan Surrey, Harvey Julian, and Rupert Friend. And this follows a couple that is deeply in love, and they go for this weekend retreat with their friends in this really nice house, and yeah, a lot of stuff happens. That's all I'll say, because I wouldn't even dare to get into the mechanisms of this plot or the details of what happens in this film, because I know a lot of people felt like the trailer spoiled them, and fortunately I was not one of them, and so I really want to tread lightly when talking about this review. But, you know, seeing a movie at the end of January isn't always the greatest sign of quality, but as I said in my previous review of Presents, I do think that this January has been quite exceptional overall, and just in regards to the fact that there haven't been too many stinkers, and I can think of one or two, but I'm not talking about those today, because Companion might as well be one of the best January movies I've seen in a long time. Maybe since Paddington 2, because I really don't remember a January movie that was this good. At least immediately coming into the year. And I think, despite of all the terrible things that are happening in 2025, I really do think that this is very promising for a very good start to this year. And let's just talk about the performers first, because I think they really deserve a lot of praise, especially the supporting roles here. I haven't really seen Lucas Gage in much before, but I'm really looking forward to see what he's in next. I thought he was absolutely fantastic in this role. Really required a lot of emotional nuance, and I thought he delivered it very well. And also I want to shout out Harvey Julian, because I've heard him in some, voice roles in the past, but I haven't really seen him in many movies, and I thought he was absolutely hysterical, an absolute riot, but he also delivered emotionally when he needed to, and I really do want to see him in more roles like this. He seems to me like a very versatile actor, especially when it comes to comedy, but also drama, so really glad to see him. And I also want to shout out Rupert Friend, who I didn't even recognize. He's kind of like this Russian dude who, owns this house. Completely unrecognizable for the most part. And even though he had a bit of limited screen time, I really liked what he did. And of course, there's so many other people in this cast too. Megan Surrey's very good. Jack Quaid, though, people are going to be talking about him because he's coming off of a hot streak. Of course, he was in Oppenheimer, the Best Picture winner. And he's carved out quite a career for himself so far. But this is probably the best I've seen him in anything from what I actually have seen. And he has to toe a very fine line as well. And I think as the layers of his character get revealed throughout the story, the more and more impressive his performance becomes by the end of it. And I think he absolutely killed it in this movie. But let's be honest, the real star of the show here is Sophie Thatcher. And my goodness, she is magnificent in this. A new Scream Queen, if there ever was one, especially coming off of Heretic, which also I was really impressed by her performance. I think she does so much here that is so difficult, I think, for any performer to pull off. But she has to tap into all these different facets of emotion and just the way she goes about her character. It is just an unbelievably complex and fully realized performance, and I gotta say, mark my words here, because I sort of have a sixth sense for these sorts of things, and I said this right before Florence Pugh blew up. When I saw her in Lady Macbeth, I'm like, this girl right here is going to be a star. And I really do think Sophie Thatcher is going to be one of the next big A-listers we're going to be talking about in the years to come. In the vein of someone like an Anya Taylor-Joy, I really do think she is just that incredible of a performer. And I really do think her performance in this movie is almost Oscar-worthy. I know we're only in January, we haven't even gotten to the latest Oscars, but I do think that this is going to be a performance I will consider as one of the best of the year, even by the time we get to December. I really, really do think she is just absolutely exceptional in this film and carries it to so many different heights that it wouldn't have quite have reached if she wasn't in the lead. Now, I think the plot itself, this is such a fun and clever script that had me locked in all the way through. I think this is an exceptional execution of the screenplay, and just how everything is so fully realized and written and woven together. It is just absolutely brilliant, I think, in a lot of ways, though I do think the script kind of falters to some gaps in logic when it comes to the writing for some of these characters, which did bother me a bit, even though I think some of it may have been intentional, even though I don't know if that necessarily constitutes this as being quite as brilliant as the structure in which it is working in. And I also think that there's a lot of exposition, especially when they explain a lot of the plot, that could have been condensed perhaps a little bit more or delivered in less of a ham-fisted way. And I'm not saying it was particularly bad, because I was interested in what was happening with said plot, but I've definitely seen movies handle exposition a lot better, and maybe if there were more visuals to go along with it, that would be great. But it did remind me of a couple of other movies, which I won't mention, that are definitely more in the horror vein, of course, because my goodness, some of the scares and the thrills that they create in this film are really, really surprising and gruesome, and they caught me off guard a couple times that I was really not expecting at all. And it's just built so well, the concept of this film, all the certain ideas that they're playing with. I really do think that there's so much to explore here, even if I don't think the script nails 100% those ideas, which it is going for in the most logistical sense. It still really works from a structural standpoint, and a conceptual one at that. And the ensemble cast to back up this film is really quite exceptional as well. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed Companion in ways that I wasn't expecting. I expected to enjoy this movie, of course, but this really was a blast from start to finish. And as I said, one of the best January movies we've seen in a very long time. And I'm going to give Companion an 8 out of 10. This absolutely is a must-see for any movie lover this month, especially any fans of the horror genre. This could be a great Valentine's Day date movie, you could even say. Even though the subject matter, wouldn't really think so, but I do think that this is definitely one that you'll have a lot of fun with. I know I certainly did. And really the perfect capper to an overall not so bad January, and very promising as to what is going to happen for the rest of the year with a lot of these movies that will be coming out. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought about Companion down in the comments below. Did you really like it as much as I did? Did you love it? Did you not enjoy it as much? Did the trailers kind of spoil what was happening in the film for you? Let me know all that in the comments below, of course, without spoiling it yourself. And please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more movie reviews like this. I'm working diligently on a lot of things right now that will be coming to you in the next few weeks, so please stay tuned for that and so much more, and I'll talk to y'all very soon. Peace out.